Shout out to the podcast because we had a guest on, Dan Lewis at Orange Capital, who said this is a company that could run out of money, but I don't think it will. And he called it the next Carvana. So there seems to be this next Carvana hunters out there, and he focused on distressed investing. So this is like his main thing, is he loves broken stories. So now you're talking Better Home and Finance.
And so I met Dan.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So like what happened is that, as you can imagine, after Open started to take off, my DMs are filled with people that are like, hey, can you pump my bags? I've got this stock I've owned for the 3 years and it's done nothing. Can you promote it? Can you no. So obviously you can't do that, and especially I got a guy from Quebec City every day. He's like texting me about QNX for BlackBerry. Can you please?
I know that guy.
BlackBerry, please.
Yeah.
And and I'm like, oh, I'll get to it eventually. I haven't had a chance to look at it. Anyway, so you get all these people. So somebody reached out to me and suggested a stock that that I knew and they thought would, they had a position in. And so they said, well, why don't you talk to this guy, Dan? Because Dan knows this stock.
Yes.
And so I said, sure. And then so I did a Zoom with Dan. He was over in London at the time. And we found out he was from Buffalo and all this stuff. And he'd been on Amber's podcast. And so we just said, that we have that in common.
Did this happen?
Well, I mean, I did watch his interview after I had that Zoom, to see what he said about Better. And so he said, I know you called me about this one particular company, but, and I think it's a good company, but there's this other company that I have a position in that, it is more like a Carvana-like company. And so do you want to hear about that? And I was like, yeah, I'm all ears, Dan. And so that's how I first came to know it.